I just got finished reading an article about Trump's address to the United Nations, and where he calls various terrorist factions loser terrorists, and that's great. But but I just thought that I would take a moment to come in there and say well, first off, loser is a sort of an interesting term when you combine it with terrorists. Okay, I mean, it's like loser terrorists would be terrorists that weren't effective at causing terror. I mean, they would be like, all their bombs would fizzle, and all their threats would make you laugh, and, their causes would be like, what? And they wouldn't really be very inspired, they would just be like, well, maybe tomorrow. Most terrorists actually seem to be pretty get up and go folks, I mean, we're every day getting up, sacrificing their life. I don't know too many Americans who get up every day and think, I'm gonna, sacrifice my life for my principles. In fact, most of the time, it seems like people want to do just the opposite. They want to play it safe, not cause ripples, not cause waves, and they want to be completely in line so that when the general walks past, no one sticks out. Sort of like, how you see those every so often, you see those little advertisements, be different, and they show like 1,000 white bunnies and one pink bunny in the midst somewhere. Does it ever strike you how ludicrously psychotic that is? I mean, even from just how psychotic it is to have 100 bunnies that all look the same, and then heighten in that ludicrousy, they have one bunny that's a different color. Tell you the God's honest truth, amongst bunnies, the disposition I've seen amongst bunnies, that one red bunny would have a nervous breakdown before it reached past 3 days old, probably, okay? Because that's about the level of tolerance that most human beings have, and that picture actually affirms that statement that most humans don't have very much tolerance, or they wouldn't even come up with an image like that. It's so patently ludicrous and so completely different from what nature offers, which is diversity. So no, I mean, I just find it very interesting that he says loser terrorists, because it also implies a complete inability to understand any structure of life other than the one that he's a part of. And once you start thinking that your way of life is the only way of life, then you're a tyrant. Okay, I mean, we can talk about, we have this idea of democracy, capitalism, communism, tyranny, whatever you want, but we have all these different governmental types, and what he's really saying to me is that these terrorists and these people want power, but it's not conducive to our desires, and so they shouldn't have it. Which is not the same as harmony. It's not the same as building bridges. It's not the same as seeing if the other person really has a point. It's not looking into why people might be willing to sacrifice their life to destroy you. It's not looking into a way to find a way that Islam and capitalism and modernity can live side by side. It's not even beginning to look at those things, and I don't blame just Trump on this. I blame the terrorists too, okay? Neither side is trying to find a common ground. But to just dismiss them as loser terrorists is just the same as to dismiss the youth of your own country.